Good evening and welcome to Success in the City. My name is Helen Webster. I'm with the lovely
Sandra Scott, and our fabulous guest today is
Shaun Milliea.
welcome.
lovely Shaun. Thank you so much for joining us on a very important week for you, and a busy week, I suppose.
Yeah, it is a very
We'll
big.
find out more. Yeah, we'll find out a little bit more about that later on. We're super excited about that. Oh, he's gone. Oh, he's back.
Coming back, don't worry.
There he is. He's back. So lovely to have you back, Sandra. We've missed you,
I missed you.
But a massive thank you to Des for stepping in and
Fabulous Des at short notice as always.
yeah, which was hilarious because I saw him last. Diane Cannon was our guest last week.
I was gutted.
And I saw Des and he went, "What a brilliant guest, Hel." He said, "I said hello and I said goodbye."
She can talk, our Diane, can't she?
It was hilarious. His face was absolutely, he was like that. So anyway, shout out to the kids, any little people, young people who've done phenomenal things this week. Would you like to go first? Would you like me to go first, Sam?
Yeah, go on, I'll go first. Just more young people I'm meeting every day who are being very brave, who've had a bad time at school, and it takes a lot of courage for them to walk into a new space and meet someone when they've been treated badly themselves before, etc. So just shout out to all those little young people who are neurodiverse.
Brilliant. Good shout out.
What about you?
I'm going to give a shout out to all of our lovely little friends at the Salvation Army in Rice Lane. It's the back of Rice Lane. So during the school holidays, they have the Half Fund, and there's lots and lots of amazing community groups going on. So big shout out to all the kids who are attending the Half Fund programs all over the place. But massive shout out to the little ones in the Salvation Army who I taught on Thursday. They were ace, dead funny. And there's one little girl who I've known her now for 4 years, and this is the first time she's spoken. So I was delighted. I was delighted because when I walked in, she shouted "Helen" and come running over. So I was delighted.
That was lovely.
Yeah, massive win for that one. And a little boy called Ryan who was deaf, and the guy said, "Oh, he's okay. You know, we've got a little boy who's deaf, but it's okay. He can lip read." But we had a big, massive, full-on conversation, signing away, and he was like this, didn't bat an eye when I started signing to him. Well, everybody else was like that, looking at us like, you know.
What a skill! What an absolute skill, though. I bet he never thought for 1 minute you'd come in and be able to sign. Nor did the other people. Probably. Fantastic.
Yeah, he was only 6, so big shout out to Ryan and to the gang. Yeah. What about you, Shaun? You must have some young people to shout out to.
Yeah, actually, my friend's son, little Noah, he's having a bit of a bad time at the moment. He's in and out of hospital for tests, but he's a little street fighter. He'll never give in. He'll never lie down. He'll just keep going. And his little sister Tilly, she's 10 on Thursday, so I'll have to mention that.
Brilliant.
Happy birthday, Tilly, for Thursday. And come on, Noah, keep going, isn't it?
Yeah.
Keep on fighting it. Well done. Okay. Success this week for you personally. Something cool that's happened to you this week. Do you want to go first, Sandra? Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, well, I'll go first. A dead funny thing's happened to me, which is ridiculous.
No, it's
not a red. No, it's not a red face. It's a success, Shaun. My life's a red face, honest to God. I've been doing this tour guide course, the never-ending tour guide course, which is on another, and it's going to go on till next year. It's unbelievable. Anyway, because I speak some languages and the short of people who speak languages, they've asked me, I've got one to do a tour. Well, a guy rang me today and asked me to do a meet and greet at Liverpool Airport. So I have to go to the airport. And I was going, well, do they take them in my car? Thinking, God, I'll have to get that clean. And someone went, don't be ridiculous. Anyway, he went, no, it's a coach. So I go on the coach, I meet the French, I get the French people at the airport, take them on the coach, go into town with them on the coach, point out things, drop them off at what was the Atlantic Tower, the Mercure Hotel. And then the next day we do a tour in the morning, 9 till 12, all around the city on the coach. And then I meet them at 5 o'clock on the Sunday. and take them back to the airport. So I'm very excited, and it fits in with work and all the rest of it. So I'm made up. I'm really excited about it. So there.
Oh, that's fab.
I know. So that's like my first little thing, and I've got a tour in the week after on the Friday as well. So it's all happening. So I'm delighted.
Brilliant. Good stuff. Good stuff. Shaun, what's your success this week?
Me play.
Well, that's a big success.
I never thought I'd say that. Yeah. You know, I'm just putting a play on. You know, the way you do.
Play.
What else would you do?
No, that's fantastic, isn't it? And I can't wait to hear all about that.
No, I know. Brilliant. But we'll find out a little bit more. I want to keep that a little bit of a half a secret.
No, I know. And I'm made up because I'm taking me French people into town on a couch, and you've written a play. But Shaun, my thing will probably be me red face next week, so don't worry. Yeah.
Okay. So I had a little bit of a success on, well, I've had two. So the first one, we had a gorgeous guest, Kevin Lynch, who was on 2 weeks ago. So Kev is rowing from Leeds to Liverpool to raise some funds for Amber to get new prosthetic legs. So I was like, what can I do to help? So Shaun, I'm an origami ninja.
Oh, wow.
So I've started doing origami, and I've made these little things to put sweets in, and I thought, oh, I know, I'll make 100 of those, and if I sell them for a suggested donation of 50p, I'd make 50 quid. And then I thought my gorgeous friends would pay more than 50p, so hopefully I'd raise a bit more. So I made some for the dogs as well, put some little dog treats in, and put it on social media. Woke up the next morning, an order for 170 bags.
I laughed my head off when I saw this.
So did everybody else.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
Everybody
so here
else.
we are.
So, yeah. So they're my little sweet bags.
They're lovely.
Yeah. So
and it probably cost loads to do. I don't think you'll break even.
They cost less than 50p. So to date, with lots of donations from other people, I think our little thing and our success in the city from Kev being on the show has raised about 340 quid.
Oh,
that's excellent. That.
Helen, how much has he
now
got?
I've got me mum. Yeah, so I've got me mum and her next door neighbour Jane. Oh, I'm gonna go and get that. I'm gonna get Jane and me mum and Jane next door. They're making them. So I've got like a little production line now. Of
my God, your poor mother is an absolute saint.
Minimum wage.
Yeah, no, she's on it full on. She gets nothing. She gets a bit of a shout out on success in the city.
Oh, absolute saint. Okay.
So we're going for 500 quid. I wanted to raise 100 quid for them. We're going for 500 quid now.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Oh, and then the other little success was I was on Radio Merseyside on Saturday.
Brilliant. I listened to it afterwards. It was great.
Oh, brilliant. So it was Calm in the Palm for Autism in Motion, and our poor Joe, so gorgeous Joe, has been a bit poorly. So get well, Joe. Couldn't make the interview, so they asked me, and I went and I met Shaun Styles, who's like my mum's like the biggest fan, which I didn't realise. But he was lovely, and we did a little 5-minute, 6-minute shout out about Calm in the Palm, and what a success it was on Sunday. It was phenomenal. But that's later on in the show. I'm going to shout out to them.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, so we've had some nice successes this week.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, we're going to play this or that. Sandra, are you going first? Am I going first?
No, you can go first.
Okay. In light of me sweet bags, would you rather have a Freddo or a caramel Freddo? Shaun?
I did that. Normal Freddo.
Yeah. Normal Freddo, yeah.
Normal Freddo, hands down. Proper
normal
chocolate.
Freddo for me. Yeah, full on.
Yeah.
No messing. Don't get involved. Full on Freddo. Okay.
Go on, Sam, it's not even a question.
No.
No.
Okay. In light of in light of my recent success, Shaun, first of all, would you rather speak French or do sign language?
Sign language.
Brilliant.
Yeah, sign language, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sign language for me because it's much easier for me than French.
Sign language for me because I can't do it, but I can speak French, so I'd love to be able to do that properly. It'll come.
You will be able to do it.
I know.
Jan Railton says, "Good evening. Well done to me, Mum. She likes a Freddo and she likes sign language. She'd want to do sign language too." Brilliant. Fab. Okay.
Cool.
Sandra.
Yes.
Would you rather do a coach tour or a walking tour?
Coach tour. It's just like being on the plane. A coach tour down. I used to work on the plane. It's just like that. Fine, happy. Much
What
rather.
about you, Shaun?
Walking. I like to walk.
I like to walk, Shaun, but not be responsible for 40 foreigners who look the wrong way when they cross the road.
Yeah, okay. I'll give you that.
I can't cross the road myself, let alone help other people.
I can vouch for that.
Go on. What about you, Helen? You'd rather do a walking tour?
A walking tour, yeah. I'm not a lover of coaches.
The responsibility.
Bev Williams is listening in and she sends us a little wave. We're going to send a little wave to her. And AJ was 9 yesterday, the day before. So happy birthday to AJ. And my mum says sign language as well.
Oh, it is a skill, I think. Yeah. It's a real...
I reckon everyone will say walking tour rather than coach trip. But anyway. Okay, go on, San, your go.
Okay, so this is in line of Shaun's recent success. Shaun, would you rather attend a theatre performance or watch a film premiere?
Oh, theatre. Yeah, theatre.
Theatre for me.
Brilliant. It's so skillful, isn't it? Okay.
What about you, San?
Yeah, theatre for me, definitely. Every time, hands down.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're all theatres, I think. Shaun,
okay, go on.
Would you rather read a book to children or read a book to adults?
Oh.
Children.
Yeah.
What about you, San?
Children, definitely, because you can really engage them, and
you can do the voices and everything.
You can do that to adults.
I was just about to say, whereas adults just think you've lost your mind if you do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the same for me. I think for children. Although I did ask this question to somebody else who was on, and they had read to their nan, I think, and their nan couldn't read. And so she said to read to an adult who couldn't read was and so I like that. But
that's nice.
Children, I think children.
Still a lot of people in society who can barely read. Actually, people don't realise that there are. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Is that it? Are we done?
Yeah, we're
Have you done 3? Perfect.
No.
We're done. Okay. We've got loads of exciting stuff with Shaun being our guest tonight. So the lovely Debs sent me a message on Facebook and said, "Can you share this? Shaun is written a play and it's going to be on the Capstone Theatre." So I said, "Brilliant. Ask him, will he come on?" So I think Debs rang Shaun, then sent his number. I rang him. So we've not met. We've only spoke very briefly on the phone. So massive thank you, Shaun. We know you've got a super busy week this week, but we'd like to know who you are, where you're from, how you got to where you are. And I know that we did say in lockdown, lots of people were being a mizzo, but you were doing dead cool stuff in the shed. So I'd like to talk about that as well.
Yeah, so I'm Shaun Milliea, from Speak. Now living in Aylwood. What did I do? How did I get here? I was a teacher for 20 odd years, and then I'd written a couple of children's books. Came out of teaching, wrote books, Arthur B book, and all the books had something that kids can relate to. So Arthur B had a secret, and his secret was he was a bee and he had hay fever, and then he was he was Amber B. The B with D, and it turns out that the D was dyslexia. Peter Peregrine's problem he needed glasses. And it was just books like that, you know, small ailments that you could sort of say, yeah, look, it's not just you that feels like that. Look at Arthur B. And then the Hillsborough book came about by accident, really. I'd written an Arthur B book, and I was at Toxteth Library reading it to children. And while I was there, I got talking to the lady that worked in the library during the break. And she was telling me about her auntie that had come up from Bath, and they went round Anfield. That's him. And they went round Anfield, and they did the tour, and they got through the trophy room, and they got to the monument for Hillsborough. And the two little kids said to the mum, "What's that for?" And the mum said, "I have no idea." And I was thinking, wow, people outside the city don't know what the Hillsborough Memorial is or what Hillsborough is itself. So at that time, as I say, that's it. At that time, I was teaching. So on the Monday, I went into school and said to a group of year 6 kids who were aged 10 and 11, "Can anyone tell me what Hillsborough is?" So being little kids, all the hands go up. And I went round them all individually. And out of 30, I think 5 were close, but they were still a million miles away. And then it got me thinking that these kids in this class, their parents are not very old anyway. They're only bits of kids themselves, a lot of them. And I was thinking, I bet you don't know either. So I asked a few of the parents when they were picking the kids up, and they were like, you know, sorry, I don't know. So some of them did, but not all of them. So I thought, I know there's lots of books out there about Hillsborough, but I want to teach it to kids. I want kids to come through and know what it means. And I always go back to Aberfan. Now, I don't remember Aberfan because I wasn't born. But I can tell you all about it because I was told about it by my mum and dad and my sisters and my brother. You know, it was just passed down. And I thought, that's what I've got to do with this book. Not so much have the story passed down, but passed up, if you like. I want to give it to young kids and get them to spread the word, I suppose. So I wrote the book and it was received very well. But just as it was hitting and doing really well, we had lockdown. So everything was put on hold. And that's when the shed thing come along. While we were all in lockdown and not being able to go out, I thought, what can I do? You know, I'm bored here and I've got a bit of a skill in that I can write stories. So I had Shaun's Shed Time Stories, which was me sitting in this shed. We'd done the shed out to make it look like a little room. It looked really good, like with lights and all stuff. So we did Shaun's Shed Time Stories, and I'd read a story each day. And I got lots and lots of really nice, you know, comments and stuff. I was made up with it. And then after lockdown, we started pushing the book again. And then my dream had always been to get it on a stage. There's talk of it being made into a TV drama, and that's happening, I think, but that's not a lot to do with me, because once you sign it over to the TV company, you don't have a great deal to do with it. But the play was always my thing. And then my publisher, Kevin Roach, he said, "What do you really want to do with it?" I said, "Well, the biggest thing I ever remember when I was younger, I went to see Blood Brothers, and it just blew me away. I thought, wow, best thing I'd ever seen." And I thought, I want to do a play about Hillsborough, but I want it to be sort of along them lines. So anyway, he worked behind the scenes, and lo and behold, we've got 7 absolutely incredible actors. They've worked unbelievably, and the director, Zara Brown, absolutely smashing them. And it's the opening night on the 11th, this Thursday, on the Capstone Theatre.
Thursday and Friday, is it on? Am
Thursday
I right?
and Friday, yeah, the 11th and the 12th.
Is it the Capstone Theatre?
Yeah.
In Shaw Street, yeah.
Right, I've just brought the book online whilst you were talking.
Oh, thank you.
Not at all. And I thought, I wouldn't mind going to that.
I know. I'm going to see...
The big thing about it as well, I always have to put this bit in, because people sometimes think you do things for money, or, you know, what are you making out of it? Well, the fact is, we're not making anything out of it. And we've been buying books, you know, obviously I get them through my publisher, so I buy them cheaper. And then we've been giving them to LFC Foundation, because they go into schools teaching knife crime and all this, that and the other. And working with Ian Byrne and the Real Truth Legacy, he's been going in and doing things about Hillsborough. So we approached LFC Foundation and Ian Byrne and said, "Would you like this book?" And Ian Byrne snapped it up, because he said, "You know, this is what I've been waiting for, because I need a book and I need this and I need that, and you've got it all there." So we gifted him it. We said, "You can have it. We don't want anything for it. You have it and take it into schools." So we gave a load of books to LFC Foundation, because we like the hard copies to go in. Hopefully then the kids can take them home. But books cost money, so every single penny that we make on this theatre show, once we paid the bills, every bit of profit, we're buying more books to give to the LFC Foundation to take into schools. So we really aren't making anything on it. This one's not about money. It's about educating people and kids and adults who are going to the ground and doing tragedy chanting and saying, nah, it's not on. And this is why. So the book and the play is about little Frankie, who's 9 years of age, and his dad goes to match, and sadly he doesn't come home. Now, this story's got nothing to do with like the push for justice or going on about the lies in the newspaper. It's just this family and how the death of the dad impacts on the mum, the two kids, the granddad, the auntie, and the uncle. So it's all based on them, and you know that's it really, in a nutshell.
Amazing. So,
and there's tickets available because I'm just trying to get 2 online now. So
when you started writing the book, Shaun, what was the process of writing? Because had you written the children's books before? Because this is so different than one of the children's books, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's very, you know, as I say, I've written the Arthur B books and the Peter Peregrine and this, that, and the other, and Mr. Chakrabarti and all that sort of stuff. But I wanted, obviously, this is a true event and it's a horrific event, but I couldn't go into too much detail of what went on, I suppose, because it is for kids. The play's not really for kids. The play's been developed from the book, and it's not really somewhere I'd take the kids to watch. But the book, obviously, 100%. And so I sort of made myself feel, what would a 9-year-old, how would they speak? How would they tell this story? So I've sort of written it in the language of a kid. So it might not be grammatically 100%, but listening to kids in school for all them years, I think I can write like you. I can write like you're talking.
Yeah.
So that's what I've done. And the other thing that I wanted to mention as well, besides it being a book about Hillsborough, I've had several really nice messages from schools saying that this book has helped, not so much for the Hillsborough side of it, but for kids who have lost someone. Because the book is full of, you know, the little Frankie's lost his dad, Mary's lost her dad. So it's grief for the kids and loss. All kids lose someone close to them at some point. And as a teacher myself, we were never trained to deal with it. We could sit and talk to them, but, you know, did we say the right thing? Are we doing the wrong thing? But one of the teachers said what really one of the kids had said to her was that little Frankie felt the same as I do, which made him feel it's not only me. I don't, you know, he thought what he was feeling was wrong and that he was bad and he wasn't good to his mum. But he said everything that I went through, everything, you know, shouting at me mum and all that. He said Frankie did it, but he still loved his mum, didn't he? I said,
yeah, I know. Do you know what, Shaun? That's just so brilliant. And it's like, you know, reading can really help a child. And I know years ago, and I would speak about there was an author when I was young, Nina Borden, and she wrote a book about a child whose parents were divorced. It was called One Summer, and I remember I didn't know his parents were divorced when I was 8, and I remember reading this book and being made up because there was a book about it. So, and I know that the therapeutic services for children who've had a bereavement are just stretched to the limit, and people can't get support for their children. It's so difficult. So, although you didn't set out to do that, the fact that your book also helps children who might identify with a character, like you've just said, you know, and the behavior, and it's social stories, isn't it? And it really, really help a child.
No, I was absolutely, I was shocked, not shocked. I was surprised when I got that message, but I'm over the moon about it. I thought if I can, you know, regardless of the Hillsborough story, which I want anyway, if a little kid or can relate to the girl in the story or the little lad in the story and think, I'm not really bad. You know, I've shouted at my mum and I've done this and I didn't want to go to school. And they're the same. So, you know, maybe that's right. And also the book, when I wrote it, a lad I knew when we were kids, I always say this, I didn't know him when we were adults. We lost touch when we left primary school. But he died at Hillsborough. And the book was dedicated to him, to Stephen Coppic. Because although, as I say, I didn't know him when we grew up, he was still part of our gang when we were little. So,
of course. And so you taught primary, I take it, I
taught secondary for for the majority of my career.
Oh,
and
right.
it was only primary for the last 4 years.
Oh, okay. So I've taught secondary as well. And one of the things I used to do in English is we teach, well, you'll remember this, teaching about the press and bias. So
Yeah.
I show, and I'd say to the children, right, I want you to highlight what you think's not true in that. And there's a few things that did that. And that was one of the things we talked about. And it's, you know, I know it said that you campaigned avidly for that to be on the national curriculum. And, you know, it's in a couple of the textbooks we could buy about that, and it uses that. And I think it's really good for pointing out the bias of the press and actually, you know, the impact that can have on, you know, we couldn't have comprehended the impact of that would have, the press reporting when we were young, etc., on the city and the whole region, really. So I just think it's brilliant that you've brought
But that, as I say, that's where the tragedy chanting still comes from, because people believe what they've read and then they've passed it down to say, oh yeah, this is what it was really like, and it wasn't. Just going back to that quickly, when you mentioned the curriculum, Ian Byrne asked the question of the then Prime Minister Boris Johnson about a Hillsborough Day in Parliament, and part of that was going to be my book, and Boris Johnson agreed and said he would see his then Secretary of Education. But with everything that went on and him leaving and all that sort of fell through. But my book is on the curriculum, not on the national curriculum. What they've said is, we're going to put it on the Liverpool City Region curriculum,
right,
roll it out in the country if it is received well. And up to now, it's been received
well. Then I ordered it for school. That's what I've just done when I bought it.
Oh, thank you.
Do you do school visits?
I have done in the past, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I have. Just at the moment with this play, I haven't been doing anything.
Oh, I can imagine, yeah. But it's nice when you, especially for children, to, you know, to see an author who's like them as well, you know, with the same accent and, you know, lived experiences and, you know, being a teacher and stuff. And it's quite good, isn't it, for children to say, oh, look what. I think lots of young people, when you're little, you think an author's like a really special person who must sit there and do something all, you know, when you're tiny. And then when you're big, you sort of think, well, anyone who's, you know, you've got to be a good writer and you've got to have lots of other skills. But we know we've had quite a few people who've written books on our show, and it's the variation of people is lovely to see, isn't it? You know, of different people being able to have different skills.
Tony Schumacher, who was homeless.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was homeless. And look at him now, and he said, oh, it's coming soon. You know,
that's what happens when you come on our show.
Yeah, that is exactly. Look at Casey. But what's happened to her? We always joke about it, Shaun. We go, oh, look at them now. They're on the BBC.
I knew them when they had nothing.
Exactly.
We say, oh, it's a springboard to the national press. There's loads, isn't there? And like Fran, and she wrote that she's a surgeon in the Royal, and she wrote a book about the horses and bare hooves, not putting shoes on horses and things, quite a technical book. We've had so many, Claire Morton's about a chapter about psychology, mindfulness, etc. We've just had so many over the past few years.
I want to go back to when you first decided that you were going to write a book, Shaun. When you were young, growing up, have you always been so you trained to be a teacher? Were you always writing? Were you always creative? How did you get into all that?
I suppose I've always been creative, but I've only ever, like, doing stuff like art and stuff like that. I've loved building things, making things, models and that. And my son's got like a railway in the loft that fills the loft, and I build all the buildings because I like doing stuff like that. But school was great. I love school, but I was there for my mates. I wasn't there to work, you know. So when I left school, I left with nothing really. I didn't have anything to get me anywhere. And at that time, all you could get was a £25 a week scheme, which, you know, was somewhat with my qualifications was probably good. But then as I got older, in fact, I was married and I had my first child and the second one was on the way. And I thought, I want to teach. I want to be a teacher. So I went back to college then to, you know, get what I needed to get to uni, if you like. So I had to do it the long way and the hard way, but it worked. But actually leaving school, I didn't leave with anything. I left with a decent art degree. Yeah, I got a good one in my heart, but that was about it.
That's all right, but I think it's quite motivational to people. You know, a lot of people who are successful in teaching and that they didn't necessarily follow the traditional path, and they've done, and it's quite inspiring to young people, and that, you know, to have a teacher like that at times.
Well, I like the fact that I didn't go straight into, because obviously I've known a lot of teachers, and the ones who've gone straight into teachers, and I'm not knocking them, but they haven't sort of lived the life. Because I've worked, you know, I've done shift work in ICI, and I've worked on building sites, I've done trenches, I've all sorts of stuff, and I just think it sets you up a little bit better.
I actually think, Shaun, you shouldn't be allowed to teach if you haven't done another job. I feel very strongly about that. I think it's really important, because you can't advise young people about careers and things if you've only done being a teacher and nothing else, you know. Probably cause murder now saying that, but that's how I feel.
No, I think you're right. I do think you're right. And as I say, I'm not knocking these, like the NQTs that come in. And sometimes when they come in, if they haven't lived a little bit or they don't know life a little bit, the kids can see it, and the kids are like hyenas.
They can smell fear.
Yeah, they can. So you can't go in with that mindset. You've got to go in a little bit like confident and sure of yourself. And if you don't, you've had it.
Alive, yeah. So did you prefer to teach the seniors or primary? Or
secondary? It was my seniors, really, because where I worked, I did 12 years in a student support centre. I am a qualified, I'm a history teacher by trade.
Right.
But this job come up in the student support centre, and I was there for 12 years, working with the kids who are on a cusp of being thrown out, or things going on at home that school is just not going to do it for them. And it was the best thing I've ever done. So rewarding. It was just, it was great. Because these kids, because of the backgrounds, a lot, they didn't trust anyone. And if you when you gain that trust, it was brilliant.
I mean, that's so good. Fantastic. So what time? So I don't know if these tickets have come through or not, and I don't want to keep looking at my phone. I think I've paid for them, but I'm scared I've paid for 6 now by accident. So see, I've kept ordering them, and it was going delivering, and it said you'll be emailed with 4 days before the performance.
Yeah, it says that, but you normally get them today or tomorrow.
Oh, so I'm going to wait till the morning then before I order more. Like-Minded Productions. Is it under Like-Minded Productions?
Yeah, you'll get it on Like-Minded Productions, and you can also go through the Capstone Theatre, their website.
Oh, well, we'll soon see what happens.
You were talking before about Ken Roach has got involved, and is he directing the play, or
Kevin
how
Roach?
Is that worked?
Kevin Roach is my publisher, and he sort of helped and produce it. Zara Brown, she's the director of the play. Yeah.
Right.
She's got them all jumping through hoops.
Were you involved in choosing the cast?
Yeah, I was there. I was there for that. Yeah.
And how did that work?
They gave me the final say, but I asked their advice, because it's not my world, is it? I don't really. But it went really well. The only thing is, I mean, I've never really interviewed anyone for a job before, but I wanted to give them all a job. But you can't, can you? So
you knew when they were coming for the
auditions.
The audition. When you're writing it, obviously you have a picture of.
Oh, you're going to ask what I was going to ask. Go on.
I know. We always do it, don't we? You probably have a picture of the character, what they look like, how they sound. When they were coming into an audition, did you still have that in your mind, or did you think, well, I'm going to have a clean slate and just see how they perform and whether something connects?
I went in with the idea of having a clean slate and just seeing what it happens. But as soon as I got in there, I thought, wow, you look like Frankie. And it was just so difficult not to. Yeah.
And so the directors, obviously, so they've directed the play, have they? And, you said you've had the say in everything, but have you been there along the process, or do you go and see the rehearsals and think, oh, no, that's not what I went, or wow, that's amazing?
What I've said to them is, and I do go to a lot of the rehearsals. I haven't gone to today's because I'm here, but I do go to rehearsals, and I have said to them every time I've gone, because Zara said to me, you might not be sort of not welcome, but if they want to slate the play or they want to slate what you've written, they're not going to do it if you're sitting there.
Yeah.
And I said, that's fair enough. You know, they're not gonna bother me if they say to me, "Oh, that bit's rubbish." I'll take it on board and listen. I'm never going to be like moaning at them. So when I've gone there and we've done the script together and we've gone through it all, I've give them leeway, if you like. And I've said, if you as a group of actors want to change anything or add anything or take anything away, I said, try it, run it out, and then let me see it. And if I agree, I'll say yeah. And if I don't, I won't. And there's been a few things that they've tried and I've thought, I'm not sure. But there's been other things. I mean, my ending of the play has now changed because one of the cast members, Lucy, she come up with this other idea. Very similar, but still a little bit different. And it was that good that when they were doing it, they were all crying. So I thought, yeah, we're keeping this. Yeah. So no, you know, I haven't been hard on them and not. There's been a couple of things, as I say, that I've not liked, and I've said no, I don't want to do that. But there's also been many things that they've added and taken away, and I thought, yeah, that works better. So yeah.
Because I suppose when you're reading a book, you've got the picture in your head, haven't you, of, you know, what, and then sometimes it doesn't translate from a picture in your head onto a stage, but then you've got people who are doing that all the time and they say, oh, that wouldn't work because of this. So taking their interpretation of it is good as well, but it is like your baby, isn't it? You know,
that's what they say to me. They say they've never worked with anyone like me because he said the writers are often like, no, it's that, and it's that. But you know, you're not like that, and I'm not like that because, you know, I'm new to this game and they know more about it than I do. And I'm never going to knock them. As I say, if I don't like it, I'll tell them. But I think we've worked together and we've all become really close. We've got like this family group chat going and all sorts. But everyone's like me, mate. You know, they're all like, it is like when I go to them to see the rehearsals, it's like you're with your other family. It's incredible.
And Shaun, how long has it taken them from the start to rehearse for the play? How much time have they had to prepare for it?
They were working that out the other day because they didn't have a lot of time because it was like a bit of a rush job. We got the chance of these 2 nights on the theatre and we just said, yeah, we'll have them. And then we said to the actors, well, we didn't even have the actors then. We said, we're going to get everyone together and do it. So hours-wise, they've probably only had 2 weeks. But honest to God, they've nailed it. If you go and see it with you and your 6 mates or however many tickets you've bought.
I don't know if it has.
Have you booked it for Thursday or Friday, Sam?
Friday, I tried to.
Oh, that's all right.
I'm trying to see if any money's gone out, but if it hasn't, I obviously haven't paid for it. So we'll have another go. Yeah, no, I haven't because it said PayPal. We'll soon find out.
Okay. If you can't do it, we'll have a look because we're going out on Thursday night, but I do fancy it on the Friday.
No, I haven't paid for them. It must.
Friday night is selling really, really quickly. Really quickly. The Thursday's not as quick, and partly I've been told Liverpool, because they've got a match, you know, that's going to impact on it. Plus, there's the Grand National as well, isn't it?
Yeah, Liverpool at home. It's the Grand National and Cirque du Soleil are on in the Echo Arena because that's where.
Oh, are they? I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't know.
There'll be lots of people who aren't into all of those things who might want to go anyway.
Yeah, and don't forget, every ticket you buy is buying books for kids' schools.
Definitely. I know, I love that. No, I haven't paid for it. Yeah, we'll have another go in a sec.
Cool.
She's going to buy a whole row, isn't she?
Accident. Imagine tomorrow. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to sell out. We've sold out. And Sandra will be sat there on her own.
Yeah, the whole road.
After the play, once Thursday and Friday is done, what's the next step, Shaun?
The next step is what we said was, me and Kevin, if it breaks even and we can pay the bills, get the books, and we're not at any loss, we're going to take it on tour around Liverpool City region theatres. And with the amount of tickets we've sold now, we've more than broke even. So we are going to take it on tour.
Amazing.
How good. And are you going to keep the same cast, or does that depend on commitments?
It'll depend on commitments, but at the moment they all want to stay. No one wants to leave. And the future of it as well is we're going to do a smaller, condensed version aimed at kids. And do you know Theatre in Education, TIE?
Oh, right.
Well, we're going to go with them, and then we're going to go into schools then. Primary schools and secondary schools.
Cause who did we have? I know we had gorgeous girl who did ADHD the musical.
Yes.
And I went to, well, she's gone all over the country with that now.
Yeah.
And she did it in a church hall in Ullet Road. Then she had the studio with the Royal Court. She's gone. She did it at the bombed out church.
No, the bombed out church.
Gone everywhere with it now. Massive. And that was sort of, it wasn't quite a one-man show. She had 2 other appearances. It's hilarious, but it's very good, poignant as well.
Yeah.
Really, really good. She's Dora. That's it. She came on. Yeah. So amazing. And I think we should really support. It's like supporting independent businesses.
Definitely.
I think we should support local artists, local creatives, playwrights, local authors as much as humanly possible. You know, Jilly Cooper's all right for money. You know, we need to see. We need to go to our local people and things like that, especially with the good work you're doing. And we had build a book on Natalie
Reeve Billington, yeah.
And they do something where they go into schools and things, and
I've seen them,
on that, you know. So there's loads of people doing really cool work out there. So I think if people do want to read, or you know, why not buy a book like that, by a local author? Definitely.
So can we buy the book online? I know you've just bought it, Sam. Was it
on Amazon?
On Amazon. So is it better, Shaun, to buy on Amazon, or can we buy it directly from you?
I'll tell you where you can get it from directly, more or less. Is from Beatles, Liverpool and more.
Where's
that? That's Kevin Roach, my publisher. That's his company.
Yeah.
And also you can get the books off me, and if you get them off me, if you want it signed, and I can always sign them.
Oh, wow.
And if you do go to the show, they'll be on sale there. They'll be getting sold there, and you can get them signed there as well.
And it's a good.
I think a signed book is like a lovely thing, isn't it? A lovely thing is to have a signed book by the author. I think it's dead cool.
Beatles, Liverpool, and more. That's it. Oh no, we got loads, and we had John Bullock on as well, didn't we?
Yeah, got his signed book. Yeah.
Oh no, I think it's marvelous to have a signed copy. You know, I just think it's really nice. I might bring my nephew to this as well.
So I think if we share, we'll share the link of how to buy the book, but I'd rather
on the Liverpool one.
I'd rather buy it independently, locally, because I know that on one of the photographs that when I stalked you, Shaun, you were outside. Is it Crosby, the bookshop in Crosby?
That we went to. That was
you went to the launch of that was Natalie's book, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was not the Bernie Hollywood. When he wrote The Boat of Hope.
The Boat of Hope.
Oh, right,
yeah, we went to that, didn't we? And we had Bernie on as well. And
it'd be nice to buy the book from a local bookshop that benefits
very much so.
And benefits you as well, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, and then especially if it could go into your child or grandchild's school as well, which I think is amazing.
And there'll be loads of youth clubs as well, which you can go into, you know, and people in youth clubs and stuff.
Yeah, Vince Cleghorn on here as well, who does the children's books a lot, the local author.
You've had a lot of people on here, haven't you?
Yeah, we've had loads. We've had all kinds of people, because we started it in the lockdown, Shaun, because people were so isolated, and it was when we were going into the second lockdown, in Liverpool, as you know, was one of the first places, and there was a bad vibe in the air, and we said, come on, there's loads of people doing really cool stuff. So we talked about it for a long time, so we just went with it, and we started it October 2020 now, wasn't it?
We'll be full this year, won't we?
Yeah, my attendance has been poor since January, because I've had a mother with pneumonia, and I was in the Royal the other week, not Tuesday, but Tuesday the week before. So I've had a few blips and things, but hopefully back on track now. And Des has very kindly stepped in, and it was Des who introduced us to doing all the radio stuff in the first place at Access. Yeah, so
and Des, when I was talking to Des before, Des would like to speak to you, Shaun, because Des has a radio show on a Sunday, Coast FM, and he has cool guests on that. So it'd be nice maybe to go on.
Yeah, that'd be great.
My friend from school. Michaela.
Yeah, I just seen Michaela Dawn and said absolutely. I can't remember what it was about, but she said absolutely when we were talking then.
In Oxfordshire, she is. So, and we
amazing.
have a regular listener or viewer from New Orleans as well, Shaun. So you'd be surprised.
We do.
Wow.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, we have a few from around and about, don't we?
Fantastic.
So the play is on Thursday and Friday. There's still tickets available. We'll share the link on our pages.
Yeah, 7:30.
Do yeah, if you're an Evertonian, go. You know what I mean?
Anyone. It's not about a club, really. It's just about the family.
City, isn't it? And a little family as well.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, so book a ticket Thursday, Friday. We'll share the link for the book. If you go on the evening, you can buy a book and Shaun will sign it for you. Well, we wish you massive, massive success, Shaun. And I think, what you've been doing and how you're going about it is phenomenal. So if any of our friends who are in schools, because I know there's a few of you are listening, get in touch with Shaun and get the book into school. It's a great way to get children to read, isn't it, when it's an interesting subject?
Hopefully, that's the idea.
Yeah, definitely. Can we still purchase the Bumblebee books and the other ones? Are they still available?
They're all on Amazon, them, yeah. All them are on Amazon.
Okay, so we'll find them on Amazon and we'll share, because I'm dying to read the little one about the peregrine falcon who can't see.
Oh.
I think that's it, isn't it? Yeah. So we'll share all those links. And again, if any schools are watching and they want to buy the books, it's a cool thing to
I feel as though after being on this show, all the people who've had success, I feel like, I don't know, Steven Spielberg's going to ring me tomorrow.
Maybe he might do it on Saturday after the reviews are in.
Maybe.
Watch, she'll be on BBC and we'll go, yeah, there you go.
I knew him when he had nothing.
An hour for others were on the telly.
Kevin was on
the telly, and then Katie was in the Echo. So I do share. When they post and I thought, look what happens when you come on our show. They must be thinking, you're a crank.
We credit ourselves with everyone's success, just so you know.
Not down to the individual, it was all to do with us.
We had Dave Fannin on as well, who wrote all the fire engine books, didn't we?
Oh, yeah.
We did.
Yeah, do you know him as well? So it's a small
He's done all right, hasn't he?
Yeah. It is a small world.
So, do we have a red face moment? I'm going to go with mine.
Yeah, you go with yours while I have a think.
So on Saturday, I went to Radio Merseyside, and because there's no receptionist on a Saturday, you just press like the buzzer which goes through to the studio.
I know, yeah.
This guy comes out and lets me in. I said, yeah, you're right. Anyway, I knew him. So I'm chatting away. Hiya, Vince, you're right, blah, blah, blah. Having a big chat to him. Went into the...
I know this story.
Did my little interview, come out, and he said, oh, lovely to see you, Helen. I was like, yeah. And then the girl says, Carl thinks he knows you. So I said, his name's Vince. Anyway, the wrong person. I said, oh my God, I said, I thought you were Vince. It works out that Vince Clegg, who was our guest on here, is his best mate and they grew up together.
Wow.
They know each other. But Carl is a singer he used to sing at Ace, which is a disability disco. And I used to dance. I used to do Zumba in there. So that's how I said, if he'd have had his biker's leathers on, I didn't realise it was Carl. But anyway, Carl's going to come on our show. He's Ace. So that was my red face, talking to somebody totally different. What about you, Sam?
Well, I have got a red face, actually. So, surprise. My life's a red face, Shaun. I have to pick one.
People only tune in for Sandra's red faces.
Well, it's really bad, actually, Helen. So, last Tuesday, not Tuesday just gone, but the one before, when I was in the Royal with my mother again. And we were on the Tuesday, and we spent the best part of Tuesday there. And the doctor rang me and said, come and get you. And I was like, oh my God. So Ronan thought she took her down in a taxi, and I met them there. Anyway, so we went the other side, and then you're back in the waiting room, then you go the other side, then you're back. And they were amazing. She had everything. She was so, so lucky. And they really looked after us wonderfully again. However, I am not the best driver as it is, let alone managing a wheelchair from the Royal that it was unbelievable. And the nurse was going, you need to drag it backwards. And my mum was going, I feel sick. So my mum was in such a bad way. Anyway, so there was a lady there in the waiting room, and I'm really sorry about this, and I feel awful, but she clearly had something wrong with her foot, right? So it was like had a bandage and it was sticking out. So I'm trying to get to my mum to the toilet, and I went across and I heard, and I went, oh, I'm so sorry. And I'd sorry, I can't hear this even. So I forgot to tell you this, Helen. So
I know. She had a sprained ankle when she went in and left with a broken foot.
So anyway, to cut a long story short, I ran over the person's toes with the wheelchair. She just whacked. And I was so embarrassed, and I apologised profusely. But I just legged it. I was trying to get my mum to the loo. Oh, it was just absolutely mortifying. But can I just say, A, those wheelchairs are faulty. B, there is no space in that waiting room when it's chocker. So that was a bit of a red face move.
And C, I'm dead sorry to the poor woman who's
and C, if imagine going there with like a broken or sprained foot or something, and then that happens, because obviously it was sticking out because it was sore. She couldn't get it like the other leg, and then I'm trying to get past with the wheelchair. Oh, it was awful in there. Absolutely awful. So, and people were coming to help me with the chair because they could see I was struggling. It was absolute catastrophe. And I'm there with the laptop because I've come straight from work trying to get it. Was just horrendous. But there we go. Sorry for the carnage I called in the waiting room at the Royal 2 weeks ago today.
We want the CCTV of it if any of the security.
Wow.
Honest to God, it was
brilliant.
That's great.
Have you got a red face, Shaun?
Not really. Nothing that could touch that. The only thing I've got is when we went to Radio Merseyside ourselves a couple of weeks ago on Billy Hoy's show. And like you just said, you have to ring the bell, don't you, to get in?
Yeah.
But the inside door won't open until the outside door's closed, which I didn't know.
Oh, yeah. Like
so we went in. It's like an airlock. So we went in and did the show. And when we were coming out, the girl opened the door for us and said, okay, see ya. And we opened the outside door, or we thought we had. And then she'd gone. And it was like gone. So we were stuck in this little foyer thing for what seemed like ages. Probably only 10 minutes. But we couldn't get the girl back because we were ringing the bell and that. But anyway, we got out in the end. But yeah. And people outside in town were like looking at us, trying to open the doors. But not really as good as yours with the foot, but it was all right.
No, Shaun, that's my life, honest to God. A week doesn't go by with and like saying the wrong thing and faux pas. Just like timely things, you know, like we had the famous one where I'm on my own in this school, a specialist provision, and I'm on my own there and working away, and some people come and deliver stuff all day, etc. And then this day I was working away in the school. Nobody came all day. I'm on my own in this whole building. I go round to the front to come home, and it's about 5 to 5 at night or whatever. And I think, oh no, I've left my keys in the office to lock up and the car keys and everything. Well, it's all fobbed, as you can imagine. Anyway, the reception little door goes like that. So I'm like, okay, I'm climbing through the hatch, right, in a dress. It's dark because it was earlier, like January time. At that point, that 1 minute in the whole day of all, like from 9 to 5, I'm climbing through the window and a man turns up with a parcel. So all he can see is these legs sticking out. I'm trying to get, it was just unbelievable. And I thought, what? And he went, are you all right, love? Oh, the shame of it. And that is my life. So I don't.
But the funniest thing was, Shaun, the parcel wasn't for them.
Oh yeah, the parcel wasn't even for the school. Yeah.
He knew that. He knew that.
It was so funny. So so I'm dead clear.
It's just not fair. It's just not fair.
That 1 minute in that whole day, 60 minutes an hour, all those hours in it, that woman. And that's
he's waited outside all day for you to do that, and then he's coming with this parcel.
Oh no, honestly, God.
Absolutely hilarious.
Fuming.
Right, shout out to the grown-ups. Any grown-ups who've done amazing things. I'm going to go first. I'm going to shout out to Autism in Motion. So to young Hannah, who organised Calming the Palm at the Palm House. So the lovely volunteers who helped with it, but she did an absolutely Uncle Ron's just put bottoms.
He's terrible. He sends me messages, Shaun, relating to all my misdemeanors and faux pas.
Bottoms up, Sandra Scott. So I'm giving a shout out to Hannah, because she did an amazing job. She's only 23 herself. She organised it. She's neurodiverse. She organised it, got everybody together. It was an amazing success. So brilliant and really, really well attended. It was lovely to see so many people there and engaging with all the services. So massive shout out to her. Massive shout out to Katie Elliott for getting in the Liverpool Echo. Katie's a good friend of ours. So well done, Katie. And shout out to Kev from An Hour for Others, who ended up on This Morning. Not This Morning. What's it called?
BBC Breakfast. On the chair, on the couch.
That's what happens when you come on this show, Shaun. Just saying. Who are you shouting out to, San?
Yeah, 2 people. Massive shout out to Sophie, one of my tutors, and she's teaching 4 kids at the moment, preparing for GCSE Spanish. So over the moon with her in the business. And then massive shout out to all the teachers and support staff who came into the school on their Easter holidays for 3 days to do training, which was unbelievable to do that. You know, what a gorgeous team. We've got them beautiful, wonderful people. So I'm very excited about them. Okay.
Have you got what about you, Shaun? Which grown-ups are you shouting out?
I think I'd like to give a shout out to Zara and Kevin and all the cast members who have turned this dream, if you like, into a reality, and hopefully try and bring an end to tragedy chanting and teach people about Hillsborough. And one more to my wife for putting up for me for these last few weeks when I've been manic.
Yeah. Is she excited to come and see
it? You're excited, Laura. She is.
Brilliant. Book podcast are you reading at the moment?
I am reading actually at the moment. I'm reading The Z Murders.
Oh,
it's like one of these British British Library classic murder ones. I like them, but that's what I'm reading at the moment. Yeah,
amazing.
I'm reading the last in the Richard Osman ones. The Last Devil to Die. Mate, I was sobbing last night. Absolutely uncontrollable sobbing. And normally I'm roaring with laughter, uncontrollable sobbing. So I tweeted him and I was like, thanks very much for that. But it's amazing. He's a fabulous author. But I'm listening to a great book called Chasing Cupcakes. So I'm going to send it to everybody that I know. And it's all about how your brain works. It's phenomenal.
Oh, I need that. Right. Helen recommends a book, then I read it. That's how I work. But I was doing another one and I've gone back to Diary of a CEO, which is just my favourite because it's all management. It's just, he's too cool for school, and he really is. So I'm really enjoying that. But I would just listen to that again and again.
Oh, just going back to, all authors are not posh. When you said that earlier on, when I was we'd on the radio last week, Liverpool Live, that one in town.
Yeah.
And they've asked if I'd come in and make an audio book of my book. So I said, who are you going to get to do it? And he said, we want you. I said, but the way I talk, he said, no, it's got to be you. So I was made up with that. So I'm going to be doing that as well.
Yeah, it's authentic, but it's like you said before, Shaun. I know we're meant to wind up now. Helen's the only one who has structure to this. I just go off on. But it's like you said, Shaun, as well, before. You said when you went to see Blood Brothers. Okay. Yeah. You can't, was it you, Helen, who said you can't be what you can't see? So you can't hear things. So if you if you think, oh, somebody like me can't do that, and then you hit, God, he's an author, he's read it out and things like that. And, you know, regional, gone are the days of RP, you know, received pronunciation. Regional accents are important. I worked in the airlines for 10 years, and I remember an older woman at British Airways saying, in my day, people with regional accents didn't work for international airlines, you know. And I spoke 5 languages for the airline, and she didn't. She spoke English. That was it. And it's really ignorant. And I always say, don't confuse dialect with intellect.
No.
Why shouldn't you read your own book out? Stephen Fry does his. Why shouldn't you do yours?
Yeah, well, they've convinced me, so I'm going for it. Yeah.
Made up. That's
brilliant. I love that. Fantastic. Because that opens it up to so many other people as well. That one.
It does.
That book being audible opens it up to so many other people. And my Uncle Ron says, try BBC Sounds. It's great. It is great.
It is, Uncle
So
Ron.
I want to say a massive thank you to Shaun for joining us tonight. It's good to have you back, Sam. Shaun, we wish you every success with the play. We know it's going to be amazing. And do you have a closing quote or a little mantra or something that you live by that you can close the show with?
Dreams can come true.
That's nice and succinct, isn't it? Dreams can come true. They come true. Congratulations on your play. And who knows what night I'll be turning up for that, but I'll try and sort it.
And how many of you?
It'll be fine. But no money's gone out yet, Shaun, so I don't think I've successfully paid for them. So
I'll definitely try the Beatles, Liverpool and more.
Okay, we'll share the links. So massive thank you. We're not here next week, or we're not here next Tuesday because we're in that there London.
That there London. Right. It's become fortnightly, this show for me. Yeah, we're not. We're in that there unless we do it Wednesday. We're in London, so possibly the week after. Paul,
the week after Mindset Matters. Barry and Kirsty are coming on because I boxed that off on Sunday.
Brilliant.
So we will see everybody either next Wednesday or the following.
Who knows?
Tuesday.
Thank
you. Have a good week, and we'll see you.
Thank you very much for asking me. And Sandra, I hope your mum gets better.
Oh, she will. She's definitely on the mend now. Thank goodness.
Good.